Hi, I'm E.D. Lewis, and welcome back to my channel, E.D. Lewis Reviews. Before we get started, please hit that like and subscribe and that little bell at the subscribe so you get all the notifications when I have a new video. I'm trying to figure out where exactly the camera lens is. I think it's here. Sorry. I think I'm used to it being over here. But anyway, so for this video, I'm actually doing my bookshelf tour number 2, or part 2. So we're going to look at my bookshelf, and, yeah. So, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and just detach this. And I'm going to bring the light closer. And I just covered the camera. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we go. Up here at the top of my shelf here, I have some audiobooks. Mr. Darcy Vampire. Queen of the Damned, yes, this is how I read some. Of course, this one I've already done a review of. I have not done a review of this yet. And Prince Lestat, which I have not read or listened to, whatever you want to call it. And some decorations. So, a little wolf, which I think I'll have him turned this way, maybe, toward the house. Anyway, moving on. So, right here I have the first official shelf of my bookshelf. I have a little bit of Joan Aiken, and of course, this is almost like the V.C. Andrews shelf, because there's so many V.C. Andrews. Now, my shelves are deep enough where I have books back behind. So I have, I don't know if you can really see it, but I have, I guess you can't really, but I have more V.C. Andrews back there. And I have, like, Psycho, which I've done a review of already, and some stuff. Can you see that? It's a little better. That's The Lock, The Tuscany Madonna, Gwen, The Substitute Sister, which is a Harlequin Gothic romance. Down below, I have a little bit of Darcy Coates, Virginia Kaufman, Wilkie Collins, The Woman in White. Haven't read that yet. I have some Dorothy Daniels books. The Hound of the Baskervilles, which is a Gothic mystery. You can consider detective fiction, mystery, or even Gothic mystery, because it does blend Gothic and mystery together into one, so I count it as a Gothic mystery. I'm sorry. I have Daphne du Maurier and Dorothy Eden. Back behind, I have Mexican Gothic, which I don't know if you can really see that. I'm going to bring the light closer. So you have Mexican Gothic back there, and on the very end there, I have some Victoria Holt. Not all Victoria Holt, because I do have some books pulled from my shelves currently. Now we move on down to the next shelf. As you can see, Stephen King books, Crimson Peak, The Dark Horror by Susan Howich. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. I'm not the only one that has trouble with that. And a little bit of Shirley Jackson. I do have another book by Shirley Jackson. It's on a different shelf, and I'll get to that. Kind of a miscellaneous shelf I'm not sure what to do with yet. And I do have plenty of space. I have some space in between books where I can add more. I did have some books stacked a little bit on some spots. Always keeping room. Then down on this shelf, you may notice there's several Anne Rice. There's Anne Rice back behind too. I just didn't move them up because the back part of the bottom shelf is not even full either. But I also have Marilyn Ross books right here. Marilyn Ross, W.E.D. Ross, Clarissa Ross. They're the Ross books. And I have them in year that they're released. So that's why you're going to see Marilyn Ross, W.E.D. Ross, Clarissa Ross, and then down here on the bottom shelf, you're going to see another Marilyn Ross. This is Dracula, but it's not the one by Bram Stoker. This is the film adaptation of or the book adaptation of the film Bram Stoker's Dracula. There's another Harlequin Gothic. There's the book by Catherine Lee Scott, who played Maggie Evans in Dark Shadows. Frankenstein. Here's Dracula. Mary Stuart, right before Dracula. And there's a little bit of stuff back behind. And it doesn't fill away. There's a gap over here. So, I have some gaps, but I'm okay with that. We're going to go up now. Sorry if this makes anybody motion sick. I have some more decoration. I have a skull and a book. I didn't have this shelf until yesterday, this crate. So, my bookshelf changed a little bit. But right here, this is I consider this my TBR shelf. So there's some of my TBR books that I've got to read. The Sign of the Ram, Dracul, The Tale of the Body Thief, which I did start last year and never did finish it, and so I need to go back and reread it. What I read and finish it. Mistress of Mellon by Victoria Holt, Dorothy Eden's Lady of Mallow, and Wuthering Heights. There's another book that's on my TBR that's not on here, that's on my Kindle, and that's a book by R. St. Clair, which is called The Ghosts of Dark Hollow. And yes, I have a bookmark up here. It's a bookmark that was made years ago. It's an Interview with the Vampire one. It was just something. It was just a little art project that I thought I'd do, and I wanted some cool. So I just printed off some pictures. I was like in high school or middle school. Might have been middle school. No, I was in high school when I read an Interview. Never mind. All right, now this shelf right here is a favorite shelf of mine. These are Dark Shadows books. I do have some duplicates, but they're not on the shelf. They're in a box because I want them kept. I didn't want to put duplicates up here, but we have. These are all Marilyn Ross Dark Shadows books, and this one's a novella that I printed off to read, and I never actually have read it. I've had it since I was like in high school or something. No, it wasn't high school. It was right after high school, just right after high school. So I've had it for a few years. And it's a novella that was written that was kind of a continuation. I'll do a video on it. So I'll read it sometime and do a video on it. You can read it online. It's called The Secret of Victoria Winters. Back behind, don't know how well you can really see that. I have some more, because there's like 30 books. I'm missing two. Only two. And then I have Dreams of the Dark, which I have done a review on. I also have Angelique's Descent. I have the original edition too, but I don't have it on the shelf because it's a duplicate. Then I have the Salem Branch and the other two Laura Parker books. So I need to do reviews on some of these Dark Shadows because I've read the first 11. I also have like all the special releases that they did too. I keep not paying attention where I've got the camera. I'm sorry. I have the joke book. It's on here too. I have, of course, the House Dark Shadows, which I have done a review on, and I have the picture book of Jonathan Frid. Don't have it with me though, and I have the Dark Shadows book of Vampires and Werewolves, but it's not on this shelf. It's on a different shelf. So moving on. Here is my horror shelf. Now, of course, this is not all the horror I have, because some of the horror I have is in Gothic, because I consider it Gothic horror, but this is the just more straightforward horror. There are a few Gothics in here, like there's the graphic novel version of Frankenstein. I went ahead and included, since I already have the novel over there, I just included the graphic novel over here, and there's also the graphic novel of Dracula, too. So, but yeah, a lot of it, ironically, is YA horror. And of course, there's the Joseph Hood books. My friend Nick and Bride Warren. Yeah. And I do have an adult horror book back here, but it's a lot of YA horror. You know, there's a little bit of R.L. Stine, Fear Street, and Scary Stories Told in the Dark. Point horror. Yeah, so horror from the 80s and 90s is YA. This shelf's kind of miscellaneous at the moment. I'm not sure what I want to do with it. There's not much. There's a book on the Salem Witch Trials. It's a children's book. I got it from the library. Then there's this. I have not read this yet. It's another Shirley Jackson book. And it's not one of her novels. It's a book about the Salem witch trials. So I ought to read that sometime. Well, I will. I just don't know when. Don't fall over. And then right here, this is going to be a little bit of shameless advertising, is my book. I have 2 copies right here. I have my personal copy on the shelf in the Gothic section. But, yeah. This is with the matte finish, which I switched it to because I liked it actually better. And if anybody's interested in a copy, these are both signed. I went ahead and signed them. One of them actually is on a marketplace somewhere. I'm not going to say where. And one of them is not. So if anybody's interested in buying a copy that's signed, as long as you're in the United States where I can afford the shipping, because I can't afford expensive shipping, I can send you a copy. I'm drawing a blank of how much I think they're $10. Yeah, my book's $10. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to blank right now. I'm a little overwhelmed with other things in my mind and trying to keep the camera under control. So, yeah. So if anybody's interested, I'm selling these 2 copies. $10 a piece. I'll get in touch with you about shipping. Of course, you will have to pay the shipping, and because I can't afford otherwise. If I could, I would say shipping's free, but unfortunately, shipping's kind of something I can't afford right now. Maybe someday. Down here, I have my H.P. Lovecrafts. I did have some of them in Gothic, but I moved them down here. This is the anthologies. I'm gonna get down on the floor. So this is the anthologies section, and there is some Gothic down here. So we have some H.P. Lovecraft, and then the Dark Shadows book is back behind there, right beside Local Haunts. You can't really see it. There's Local Haunts. Check that out. Great book. Has some writings from great, horror tubers and booktubers. This has some Shirley Jackson, I think, in it. It has Daphne du Maurier in it. Another horror. Where I set it down. That was given to me, actually. So there's some Gothic, ghost stories, some Gothic horror short stories that I've had on my channel before. I'm sorry. So there's the ghost stories, there's the horror. There's Edgar Allan Poe, by the way, and some more H.P. Lovecraft. But that has Phantom of the Opera and other Gothic stories. Sorry, let's bring the light down a little bit. Then there's the Gothic Treasure Trove, which has several books in it, including another copy of The Lady of Mallow. There's Steampunk Poe and Vampires, which I've shown both those on videos before. So, okay, so that is my bookshelf tour. I do have other books. I do have some children's books and some other miscellaneous books, and I have my spiritual books. My spiritual books, however, are packed away in what I call kind of the safety box. So, because I have books on several different things. There's shamanism and Wicca and paganism and other religions. I could go on forever, but I'm just gonna lump it all together. Other religions. So there we go. So that's it. That's my bookshelf tour. I do have a couple of books by my bed, and that's the Chronicles of Narnia, Fireweaver, which is an indie book that I found out about when I was in high school. I have not read it yet. It actually belonged to my mom, and she was going to throw it out, and I was just like, she didn't realize what it was, and so I took possession of it. And then I have the Chronicles of Narnia. Did I say Chronicles of Narnia or Mary Poppins? Either way, I have both, so that's my bookshelf tour, and I thank you for watching. So I'll see you next time with another review or a special video. I'm not sure which. I have been tagged in a video unofficially, so I'll be doing a tag video very soon. So, I'm looking at the camera right now. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go and have a wonderful Sunday and a wonderful week ahead of you. So, so see you next time. Bye-bye.